Hi there, you lovely lot, and welcome to the latest episode of Pat's Procrastination, brought to you by the Pat's Propaganda YouTube channel. Please do not forget to be subscribing to said YouTube channel. Now, whilst I have you, I need you to listen. Seriously. Have you been checking out patspropaganda.com? Because my articles are there, and last week there was plenty there for you to mull over. Now, the season is almost upon us. There's plenty still to talk about. But I had a thank you to Pat's Nation. I did have a peek at the Titan group, which is a little bit different now because obviously there's been some cuts as we record this stupidly early on Tuesday the 26th. And yes, I say that with some venom in my voice because I haven't had enough caffeine this morning and it is far too early, but still. And don't forget to check out what Rabel brings to the table, my third article from last week. But we are here. We are back. Pat's Procrastination is with you. We do have a few gremlins in the system, so we do apologise that our aesthetic isn't as pleasing as it usually can be. I said few gremlins this morning that we couldn't work out, but we wanted to bring you an episode this week, so we brought it you kind of from around us. But next week we will be back, and we will back to our beautiful Pat's Procrastination. So episode 65, still the off season. Roster cut downs are happening as we speak, and more will happen after the show, so no doubt we'll get stumped for some of those. But anyway, I am Clazzy Clare. He is Chudders. Chudders, how are things with you?
Everything's good with me. I've had a great off season. Have you had a good off season?
I have had a fantastic off season. Thank you.
I think you have actually, haven't you?
I have.
Cars, what have you been doing?
Oh, because I went to training camp. I got outed. I'd kept it kind of low key because I wasn't actually completely sure that I was going to be able to make it. So I didn't really want to sort of say anything. I'm quite a private person anyway, generally speaking, when it doesn't come to my work content kind of thing. So yeah. And then Andy, bless him, Andy Ellis, big shout out to Andy and his wife Giselle for the hospitality passes. But yeah, he outed me on Twitter that I was there. So then, yeah, there you go. So for my few followers, then I was there. So yeah, it was amazing. So I don't really like flag, so I don't want to.
You have first-hand secret information about everything the Pats are going to do this year.
No,
you've seen all the trick plays. You know all the secrets.
No, really not, because it is a very overwhelming experience. It's a wonderful experience, but it can be very overwhelming, and it's because they split the practice a lot as well. And where I was standing, I was down from kind of a lot of the offensive snaps and stuff like that. That was on the other side, and I was near the media, and so you're talking to the media and you're trying to watch, and you're looking for people because Edelman turned up one day, and it's just for me, it was amazing, and it was overwhelming because there's just so much kind of going on, and you want to, like, with other Pat's Nation people, you want to try and find people. So big shout out to Audrey, who found me. Bless her, lovely, so cool. If you're watching, hi Audrey, it was great to meet you. And
was that your fan?
Yes, she came up to me and just said that she was a fan of my work and she just wanted to say hello, and it was very, very cool. So
you signed autographs, you did photos.
See, look, you had to go and do that. Obviously, I didn't sign autographs. I'm just a fan who does a podcast. So you have to kind of take it and belittle it, don't you? Thank you very much. It was wonderful to meet her, and it was wonderful to meet everybody actually. And I saw some of the Patriots Unfiltered alumni, if you like, with Paddy from Aguam and Christian with the TIAN. So yeah, I don't want to gush because then obviously people who haven't been able to go, I'm not here to try and brag and make people feel bad and stuff like this, but yes, to relay my experience, it was fantastic. It was a great vacation. Thank you very much.
Did you want to make this an annual visit now?
Yeah, if somebody can send me tickets and money, of course, but it's probably one of those once in a lifetime situations, sort of thing. It took some saving and stuff like that, you see. So as much as I would love it to be a once a year thing, I very much doubt it could be once a year thing.
And you had a wonderful
in the UK, of course,
in-studio appearance on PU.
I was guested on Patriots Unfiltered for the last half an hour of the Thursday show on, I think it was July 31st. Yeah, because it was just before my birthday. So yeah, it was July the 31st. That was again another like once in a lifetime experience. Real fun, real cool, nice guys. Obviously, we all know this, but yeah, it was fun to be on the panel. It's crazy to look back on as well. To look and say, oh look, I was there. It is really, really strange. But no, I was very, very, very fortunate that they let me join or had me on as a guest. Well, however you want to when you put it. So it
It's
was
not
fun.
fortunate, it's hard work. It's everything you've put into the past few years of writing, the connections you've made, and the shows you do, the people you know. It's hard work that's got you there. It's not luck.
Okay.
But
This is a football show. This isn't
this is a but.
Okay.
As I'm sure many of your fans have done and read the piece that you wrote afterwards, you did say you didn't think you'd want to bother doing any other shows anymore, and you only want to do PU. So I'm the lucky one to be sat here now with you.
Oh no,
and not binned off yet.
Yeah, it was a last minute cool thing that Alex asked me to do, like kind of about my experience piece. I think it was on the Friday newsletter or something. So yes, I did say that once you're on, how can you go back?
Oh, sorry for dragging you down here into the sewer with me, Claire.
You have to take it for someone that's got no feeling and no emotion and stuff like this, other than love for Bill Belichick, of course. Your feelings do get hurt quite easily with some of these things, considering you don't have any.
I'm just lucky to be here.
Oh my gosh. People have tuned out now because people are like, oh, what is this? What is this trash? Anyway, it is a football show, folks. Yes, I did get to go to training camp. So hi to everybody that got to see. I'm so sorry to the people that I didn't get to see. And I do hope that maybe one day I'll be able to go back if I save and go back and see some of the people that I missed. But yes, that is why I put out thanks to Procrastination, because I just really wanted to just connect and say thank you. And it's so great. And it's so great to have the support. I know you're mocking me and teasing me and stuff like this, but it is really amazing that little me in England that does this kind of, can't be my job, it's unpaid, that sort of situation, to have people enjoy my work it's humbling and it's honoring. So that is why I had to write that, so to say thank you. But now we've blathered on for 7 minutes. Hopefully people haven't tuned out, because we do have an off season to discuss. This is a Patriots show, as they say, football show. Plenty has gone on actually with the off season. There has been some roster cuts, but as I said, as we record this super duper early on Tuesday, the 26th of August, so early that nobody in Boston will be up and few in the UK are up, I would imagine. But still, as we record this, there's been a section of cut downs. Obviously, the roster cut down hasn't completed. I think the last time I checked, they were at 73. I may be wrong because it changes by the moment, but still. So, Chudders, you wanted to cover several things during this short episode, which I thought was high expectation for a Tuesday morning. So, kick it off with what you want to kick it off for this off-season episode of Pat's Procrastination.
So let's try and do this chronologically then. Looking at the off-season as a general, I think it's gone very well. I think we've seen far more structured, far more disciplined, as much as anything else, off-season, which I think then echoed into the games. I think the structure, I think the organization, the almost the conditioning as much as anything, the discipline in the game, I think, is a lot better than this time last year. And I think I'm not going to say than the year before, because but I think it does echo back. I think it looks more similar to possibly how Bill Belichick ranked things.
Okay.
But I think that's fair, considering they're people cut from the same cloth. I think it's a very much workmanlike attitude, which I think
disagree. Sorry, my okay wasn't a disagree. My okay was, it feels like we should be moving away from those kind of comparisons. Personally, it feels like we're a couple removed now. Can we not look at what we've got, not what it is compared to what we had? What we don't have what we had. Let's really look at what we've got, is sort of where I want to push things. But that's just my opinion. I get it. I do get it. It just feels, let's stop looking at that and start focusing. It's like when people go to concerts and they just put their phone up and they just look at their phone. So they're not really watching what they're watching. Let's really watch what we've got.
There we go. There's today's soundbite. let's watch what we've got.
Let's watch what we've got. Sorry.
But no, I meant it positively. I think that the team looks a lot better, and I think the no nonsense as it appears to have gone in the off season with, I don't think there's anybody assured of a roster spot, starting role. It was very much an it was very much an attitude of, no, you're here, you got to come prove yourself, or else you won't be here. You'll be gone. You'll be cut. There's no one protected. There's no one. Oh, you were picked last year. We'll give you X longer, and I think we'll see that possibly as this receiver room gets cut down the next 24, 36 hours. I don't think there's anyone protected. There's people who are better, who is going to stay. Gonzo's going to stay. He's a good player. But it was with the attitude of, this is a fresh start for everyone. You come prove yourself.
Yeah.
And I like that. I think that's played out very well. Do you have a similar overview without comparing to other people? You're happy with how the off season has gone, with the new structure in place, the new coaches, the new attitude of the coaches?
Oh yeah, completely. I think I know you'd like to call me naive, and it is a naivety because we've only seen the off season, but you've got Mike Vrabel and you've got Josh McDaniels, and I was going to quote how many years. I think Vrabel's coach for, was it 11 years and 9 in the NFL? I wrote this in my article, folks, so because my memory is so shocking. If you go back and read my article, 14 years of coaching experience and 11 of those in the NFL. So you've got him in the building. You've got Josh McDaniels in the building. It's like, already, look at the difference on paper. Okay, on paper, but look at the difference that you've got. It's really difficult. And that's not naming the other coaches. It's really difficult to look at those names and not be like, we're going to be better. This is going to be good. Yeah, okay, prove it. I appreciate that. And I know there's plenty of Patriots fans out there that aren't convinced about just the names on paper. And I fully understand, appreciate, get that completely. But I personally think it's just difficult, as I said, to see those names there in our building now, in the building now, and not have the confidence. I just find it too. I'm so in on Vrabel. It's just obscene, quite frankly.
And that's not just because you met him.
It's not just because I met him. And to be fair, I was in on him before because, but meeting him, yeah.
Excellent. Anyway. So I know you were there for some of the practices for some of the. Were you there for the joint practice as well?
Yes, the Washington
with the Commanders. Yeah.
Yes.
But am I right saying you didn't go to any games? You left before the games?
No, left just after the joint practice. Correct.
Yeah. How do you think the games are going?
It's difficult because they're kind of meaningless, aren't they? Because I watched the first 2 games and they did well, and I get that some people say, why is he playing the first? But it feels like Vrabel need to see what he's got. He needs to see what he's working with, and I think that's why he put May in for a bit and things like that. And then you watch the Giants game, and it's the end of the off season, and it's all the bubble guys, and they lost, and it was really difficult to not be like, yeah, well, that doesn't mean anything. It's like, oh, they did so good in the first two games. Oh, but that one doesn't mean anything, and it's like, oh, that's too selective. It's way too selective. But there's still a lot. The thing is, there's still a lot going through. That's why preseason games, do they mean anything? Because there's so many guys that played in those games that won't be on the roster. So it's like what we had then over preseason isn't going to be what we have September. Is it 7th when they play? Was that when the season starts? It's too early in the morning.
7th is when the first Pats game is.
So there you go. So, what we saw play, what we saw together isn't going to be what they put out on the 7th. So, yeah, it's one of those really. But I'm, still feeling good about it. I've got to admit. But again, you'll just throw like naivety at me. So.
No, I thought in general, the operation, if you like, was a lot smoother than last year, where we had a lot of issues with players on the field and not on the field, and formations and false starts, and a lot of rubbish that needed ironing out very early last year. And I don't think that's happened this year. I think they hit the ground running a lot more. There was the odd hiccup, but generally it was pretty good. I think they came with a very aggressive attitude, particularly in those first two games. They were hitting hard like this wasn't a preseason game.
No,
they were out. They were starting from the ground running, and that was good to see. And that played out in that first game. You know, on paper, you're saying the Commanders are going to be the toughest of those three games they were playing, and they played very well and won convincingly. There is the asterisk against who you're playing against at different times, but they came out. They didn't care who they're playing, and they played to the best of their abilities. They gave it everything, and it was good to see. That was the right attitude, and that brought fruits. Like you say, by the third game, less of the definite 53 played. Those that did play didn't play very well, in all honesty, which is why they got pretty much their doors blown off by the Giants, which was disappointing, because there's some people who are on that bubble who, or some people who played who you thought will be part of this 53, and they didn't play that well. So it was disappointing. Yes, preseason game, the actual result of losing does not matter. The performances are what matter, and those were disappointing in my view. I'll save my biggest disappointment till the moment. Is there anything more you want to add on the games?
I don't think so.
So
like I mean,
no, go on.
They were playing more like an NFL. It sounds hearing it, I know it sounds really stupid, but they were playing more like an NFL team in a preseason, whereas last season they were playing like a team trying to
be an NFL team.
Yeah.
Like they weren't a team. They were trying. It was almost like they were an extension franchise or something, and they were trying to learn how to get there.
Yeah, but I hate bagging on last season. I do, because Mayo only had so many tools and this, that, and the other, and so I don't like really trashing it. It is difficult, but it just, now whether it's a psychological thing, like I said, because I'm so loving Vrabel and McDaniels is back and the confidence is, yes, it could be psychologically. You're just looking at this team thinking, they look just so much better. But even when you listen to the most curmudgeon of media, it's still, and that's not Felgram as folks, because I can't listen to them. So generally, I meant just in general, really. I can't, as in I'm not able to, rather than I can't. But from what I understand, I can't. It's probably better anyway. But anyway, sorry, tangent. Yeah, everything just seems a lot better now. Is that going to translate in the NFL, in the league? Is it going to translate in wins and things like this? We're just going to have to see. There's going to be some hit and misses. There is. But it just feels like they've finally got some footing. There are things that we can look at and say, oh, great, or whatever. And then, yeah, but there's this, and yeah, but there's that. Rather than, this is good, yeah, but, that might be good, yeah, but we've lost some of that, it feels like, anyway. Again, could be psychological. Let's see what happens. Sorry, please continue.
So the next question I'll have for you, how do you think Drake May has looked in preseason?
Mostly good. I'm not too concerned. He's under a new offensive system. From what I understand from hearing various media podcasty type things, should I say, they've given him everything. They haven't spoon fed him the offense. It was more this is what it is. And I think if that's the case, again, I'm sort of taking information from different particulars when it comes to social media and the actual media. If that's the case, and he's carrying the whole bag initially from the get-go this season, then I think he's doing really well. Yeah, people, he's had some interceptions. Okay, you show me a quarterback in the NFL who hasn't. So
Joe Burrow.
No, he's had interceptions.
Not this preseason, I don't think.
Oh, yeah, but you've just said that we've just said that the preseason kind of doesn't mean anything. Oh, but now he's done really good, so we're going to point it. That's so fickle.
Answering your question.
Let me see the NFL. Talk to me at the end of this season, not to want to run to the end of the season, but talk to me at the end of the season and really give an example of it's what happens in this sport. It's the way that it is. And he's just
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong in let's assess it at the end of the season. That's in some ways the right approach to take.
Are you not confident in Drake May then? Sorry, just because you're babbling about stuff that I'm saying. Are you confident in Drake May then?
So that wasn't the question. The question was, how's he done in preseason? My opinion is he's not done that great. Okay. From all reports, because I've not seen them in person or too many of the highlights, in training, in cross training with other teams, he's had some good moments, but he's also had some bad moments that we'd hoped you'd have ironed out by now. He's had some interceptions. He's had
preseason. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but what if the preseason is him ironing out? So you're giving it large about
no.
Oh, he's not that good.
But my question to you wasn't how do you think what we're going to be saying by the end of the season. My question was from what we've understood of the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Not how's his career going to be by the end of
I still think
2035 or whatever.
Because he's in a new system, because he's been given the whole new system, I think he's doing well for a second-year guy in a brand new system with a brand new coach. I think he's doing well. Yes, can he improve? Oh, of course. Dude, Joe Burrow could probably do with some improvement in some aspects. So,
okay, I certainly agree with Drake May needs to improve because I liked what we saw last year. But what we saw last year wasn't the ceiling we all want to see, was it? We want to see higher. Mm-hmm. From this preseason, I don't think we've seen much higher yet. Now, like you say, that ceiling is yet to come. But the heights are yet to be hit. But the answer to the question is no, we haven't seen that yet. Okay. I think we saw a bit of indecision. He made obviously he got sacked, fumble, and by all accounts, I think it was the Vikings game where the commentators were saying, well, yeah, Drake May's been told he's had a bad week of practice, so he's going to have to come out for a drive. Otherwise, Vrabel was going to give them the night off. But because they'd had a bad week of practice, he was going to make them play. Then that drive they came out and did was bad. And so he said, right, you're going to have to go out there again. And the second drive, I think, was better. I think maybe Drake May ran in a touchdown or they got a field goal. They got some points off it. It was better. I wouldn't say it was amazing, but it was better. And it was sufficient for them to say, okay, your night's done now. But to me, that was really not a great example of, well, hang on, the plan here was you can have the night off, but you've done badly. And then the second plan was you'll have a night off when you've done a good drive. And they didn't. And that was worrying, disappointing to see. Like you say, hopefully these preseason games, that was them ironing things out. When it comes to the 7th against the Raiders, they're going to hit the ground running and it's going to be all guns blazing, in sync with receivers and everything else. But from what I've seen so far and from what I've heard, there's a lot of room for improvement yet. Okay. Hopefully we're going to see it. It hasn't come yet. This isn't me saying he's not the guy. This isn't me saying he definitely is the guy and it's fine. Nothing to worry about. I'm not overly worried like, oh gosh, this is the end of him. Or if he's not this, we need to bring Dobbs in instead. Or, if by the end of the season it's not ironed out, we need to go back in the draft. No, I'm not catastrophic about this in any way, shape or form. But also to review it, I think there's a lot of room for improvement as well. I think we'll see it, and I want to see it.
Okay.
Fair or not? You think I'm being too judgy? Okay, so that's maybe my greatest worry or negative from the pre-seasons. Any players that really stood out that maybe surprised you or you weren't expecting?
I didn't have much expectation. I sort of sometimes think that I'm not arrogant enough to think that I know enough to really like judge it all, in all fairness. But so all the players, it's just been a case of see how they're doing. Campbell, I think he's beating some expectation. Know that he's still got work to do. But a few people have said that he looked really good out there and seemed surprised. So I had confidence in him anyway. I think, really, if I'm being honest, to pinpoint a player that surprised me the most was actually the rate that Diggs has recovered, technically speaking. Now, I know we haven't had game one, so we don't know how he's going to play. I get that completely. But from things that you hear, times that you see him, I think that's been my biggest surprise in the off season is his rate of recovery, which is great. I think it's great if we have him for the first game. I just hope not to be sort of negative or pessimistic. I hope he hasn't pushed it too far. Now, these are elite athletes with elite medical staff around them, so I'm pretty sure he probably hasn't pushed it too far and sort of gone past what is really good for him. So I just hope that hasn't happened. But I was surprised to see him and really glad to see him around, because I think that is definitely a positional room that is in need of some a word for kind of a coming together ability, that that kind of melding in the group. They need to sort of band together and work with each other. And it's definitely a position group that the Patriots need some sort of strength in that, some core strength in that, if that makes sense. I really feel like I'm rambling because I haven't had enough caffeine this morning. But yeah, so that was a surprise.
I think he showed the right attitude. You could see how invested he was on the sideline. He wasn't playing, but he was there. He was involved. He was cheering the players on, speaking to them when they came off. He seems invested. It's not just a diva who's there for a paycheck.
Invested, yes.
Who, I want to get my catches and screw the rest of you. I appreciate that could yet come, but he showed the good signs. He seems really invested. He seems here to do a job, to help others, and again, hopefully that plays out. Yeah, no, his recovery, I think that is a good. Like you say, we'll actually see how recovered he is. How soon do we get him on that field? And then when he is on that field, how much of the old Stefan Diggs do we see?
Mm-hmm.
Go on. Did you have something there?
I know. I also have a negative surprise, so I thought you'd want that as well. That was all. I'm not trying to. Please carry on about Diggs. I'm not trying to interrupt it. It was just like, oh,
no, go on.
I am surprised and disappointed that the O-line still has some weaknesses. We are still talking about the fact that whilst the O-line is better now than it was, that doesn't feel like much of a push. But I'm sure they are much better than they were. That is a concern. That's my concern. Not concerned with Drake May whatsoever. My concern is the concern that I've probably had for the last 7 years that I've been a fan. No, more than that. And definitely for the last nearly 5 years that I've done podcasts, is the O-line, the strength of the O-line. Will Campbell aside, I do have quite good confidence in him. I know obviously some people not so much, and I get it. But other than putting him in a vacuum, the thing itself, the O-line itself, is a concern, and it's concerning that it's still a concern, because it's like really early in the morning and people are like, God, this woman's talking to
me. No, it's concerning. It's concerning, and I'm concerned that you're concerned. It's a concern. You'd hope that a definitive front five established itself early and maintained itself throughout. And here is our rocks that we're going to build behind. And that isn't the way it's happened. I don't think we could really bet on who's going to be in that starting five. He's going to start a centre. He's going to start a left guard.
Sandwich bet on that.
It's
No.
and there's been some good performances in there. Wilson started off camp quite hot, faded away slightly, or didn't maintain that quite as much. Bradbury is probably going to play, but there's a chance he could be playing left guard from the way they've been lining up with Brown and a centre. It's a disappointment. Obviously, someone like Sidney Sowell's just been cut. I think there's a chance they'll try and bring him back on the practice squad. But there's players who've been in the mix. Robinson as well, who
both Robinsons.
Yeah.
If you look at their unofficial depth chart, now I say unofficial depth chart, and it is the left guard. The lineup was Cole Strange, Layden Robinson, and Tyrese Robinson, like 1, 2, 3, and they've cut or wavered 2 and 3. If you look at the unofficial roster now, obviously it's garbage because you don't. But if you did, you're looking at left guard, Cole Strange, and I hate to be this person, but that does not fill me with much confidence at all.
Yeah, I thought I saw something had happened with Cole Strange as well. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, they've got other guys down as guards, obviously, but as you look at the thing like that at the minute,
I think there's a chance that they bring someone in from who's been cut from somewhere else, or they might maybe even trade someone, but unlikely now that the time's passing. I think there's a chance they might end up looking elsewhere, and not necessarily, I guess, a starter for week 1, but it just still feels like a puzzle they haven't quite solved yet. And that is a shame. It's a disappointing because that's the rock you hope will be fixed this year. But we'll have to see how that plays out, and hopefully it does become more stable. Yeah, go on.
So going as well. You mentioned Sidney Soap. They're really obliterated their guard room, if you want to be specific. They're really down here. I mean, I know obviously switching over sides can be awkward and difficult, but they've really obliterated their guard room. I do hope that the great and mighty Vrabel has a plan. And I hope it's not him suiting up and being God himself. Because whilst I think he could throw down definitely for a snap or two,
he's still got one rep in him. He's always got one rep in him.
He's 2-0 for off-season fights, I reckon. I was there for one of them. Fantastic.
Yeah. You didn't want to get involved.
No. With the towel. I was a bit far away in all fairness, and I'm about like this big in comparison to like players. So where would I go? Like in between their knees? Yeah.
So I've pulled up one article about Cole Strange. He's had an awful off season. Through the preseason, he's graded 47.4 in PFF. Means nothing to anyone. But for context, out of 162 guards, that puts him the 19th worst that have been graded. He's not had a good off season at all. I think some people thought he might not even survive cuts.
I love the O-line. But I hate that we're having to talk about them. The O-line is the guys that you don't really want to have to be talking about, because if you're not talking about them, they're doing their job really well, generally speaking, because it means things are going on on the rest of the field. And it's really difficult as someone who loves the O-line guys. I love the big guys. How not wanting to talk about them because it's just not great. But we really need to up this because we've got to wrap up. We need to hurry up and give people their day back and that. We need some positivity.
A positivity. Henderson looks phenomenal. How good does he look?
A second round running back. That's what great. But yes.
No, okay, you disagree.
No, I don't disagree. Quite correct. I'm concerned that it's just like, that's what we have to use as our positive.
Chisholm, he looks good. I hope he survives the cuts though.
But he's currently injured as we record this. I don't know how it's
He's sat
evolving,
out.
but yeah, it's not great.
But he looks positive. That's again
Yes.
a UDFA who's looked positive. I thought Larison
Yeah.
was going to shine more than he probably has to be as well, to be honest. But
he signed a lot of footballs in training camps. That's such a shame.
And another interesting item that will be resolved probably in the next 24 hours is who's the kicker going to be?
Oh, I
Borregales or
know.
Romo?
I hate this bit because I hate the cut bit anyway, because I hate losing the guys that you've. Yeah, it's sad. These guys have lost their jobs. It is really sad. And I'm really taught nobody will care about this at all. So I probably shouldn't bring it up, but started, so I'll finish. I'm really torn as to which kicker I want. Obviously, I want the best kicker, really. Deep down, I want the best kicker. But the fact that they drafted Borregales, it's like, I really want to be behind the guy that they drafted. But Romo is such a nice guy. It's hard not to root for him. So yeah, that.
Did you meet Romo?
That's my inner conflict that nobody cares about.
Okay. One of your guys now. I think it'll probably be Borregales because of the contract situation. He's going to be cheaper.
Yes.
For a few years there.
As long as he's the best, then I want what's best
for the team. I agree with you. If through all the testing and everything they've done, they think Romo's going to be the better kicker, go for the better kicker. I'm not precious about that decision at all. Let's see how it goes.
That's typical. He's being I'm like Paul Perillo. It's not precious when I come to kickers.
Do you? So at the moment, the Pats have got 2 quarterbacks on the roster, May and Dobbs. Yeah. Personally, I'm fine with that. I didn't bring Woolwich back on the practice squad if they want. Do you want to see a third in that room on the active roster? I don't.
The problem, usually I would, because of like security reasons. Obviously, they need somebody on the practice squad, so that that's a given. They have to bring someone back, surely, on the practice squad. Now, this season, and who is available or who would be available, that's colouring my opinion of whether I want a third, because there just isn't anyone out there that I feel is worth the time, personally. Personal opinion, folks, just personal opinion. However, I did have a thought yesterday when arguing with my friend Haley, when we were arguing about Jacoby Myers. Massive argument, took a long time. Anyway, not the point. It came to my attention that a quarterback who might work in this system as a backup, not as a contender to Drake May, let me just preface that, could be Jared Stidham, but I can't remember where he is. And I meant to look it up this morning, but I had so many technical problems, I didn't have time to prep properly. Yeah, but no, really, actually, my answer is there isn't really anybody. I don't think I really want to bother with the third. They need somebody on the practice squad. If they brought Stid the kid onto the practice squad, I'd kind of like that. That's kind of cool. So other than that, to be honest with you, no, I just don't want it sounds really stupid. I don't want the drama. I don't want the effort. I don't want the mess of like another third quarterback who, shouldn't he get reps? And look at him on the sideline. No, I don't care. I've decided.
No, I agree. And I think... No, I'd agree. And I do think that's why they cut, and I've even forgotten his name now, the guy out of Tennessee.
Waldridge.
No, not Waldridge. No, that was the backup last season with the massive arm, and I've forgotten his name now.
Joe Milton.
Milton, that's the one. Yeah, there we go. Joe Milton.
That's Cowboys.
Yeah, but my point is, I think they didn't want that understudy who people are going to be saying, shouldn't he be getting reps? Is he developing? How's his development going? They don't want that threat to May.
Yeah.
So that's why I think they brought in Dobbs, and I don't think they'd ever bring in someone who could be a threat, if you like, someone who's developing. I think they just want to let May go out there and cook. So I don't think they want that sort of thing.
I wouldn't use the personally. I wouldn't say threat, but that's me. Drake is number one. He isn't threatened by a third string quarterback because he is the franchise quarterback of the future. But everything else that you said, I completely agree with. Me just not wanting to use the word threat. That's all. Not criticism.
I know what you mean. I don't think Milton was a threat. The trouble is when he comes in and he wins a game you don't want to win, but he wins a game when you've lost so many before. It just you're not saying Milton's the answer, but it asks questions. Oh, hang on, what's going on here? Right, then to touch back on something you said then, do you want Myers?
I honestly don't really know. I don't not want him, like categorically not want him, but I know he's a good receiver and he's a great guy and he was a Patriot and we love him as that and I get it. But they've got so many middling wide receivers to choose from at the moment. And as much as I do like him as a player, he isn't the top elite that you need. He's the middling guy, that, you know, the security guy. And at the moment, they're looking at several of those that have already spent the last preseason in camp with Drake, blah, 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 under McDaniels, da, 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 da. So I don't know if it would just be time wasted when they need to be looking at what they've got. And you don't want it to take away reps from, touchwood, hoping that he comes back, Williams and stuff. It's like, okay, they bring Myers in and he takes reps away from Williams, and then after a year Myers is gone, but Williams is supposed to be the wide receiver that develops through Drake May, that kind of thing. You're then removing reps and stuff like that. Obviously you just want what's best for the team, and I fully appreciate that. I'm just not sure he's really that top talent that it's worth putting in now. At the beginning of the preseason, maybe. Well, I'm saying maybe because back then you wouldn't have assessed what you've kind of assessed what you've got in, or almost now, or you should have done. So it just feels like they've gone through the assessment process. It's a little bit late to add him if they're going to add him. Now, if they do, I'm not going to be like, oh no, this is terrible. They've made it an awful move. Da, 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 da. I'm just not going to be major either way. I think, are you sure? But it's one of those. But it is difficult because he is a fan favourite and he's a lovely guy. So it is difficult to sort of not
see. I'm cautious. The one thing I agree with you pretty much about most of that, about how he compares to what we've already got assessing. He's a good guy. I'm slightly cautious on that one, because he fell out with people here, which is why he left. Now I appreciate that coach is no longer here. He's now requesting a trade because he doesn't like the situation he's in Vegas.
Yeah.
You're someone who doesn't like a diva wide receiver. I'm not saying he is, but is that the path he's on here, Claire?
I hadn't even thought of it like that. So that's a very, very good point. To be honest,
I make few of them, so that should be a great point to wrap.
To go on that, doesn't they? So we should wrap up because we are running out of time, and we should give you guys back your day. And a huge thank you for checking in this crazy off-season episode that we are wrapping the preseason. I believe we will be back next week following all the roster cuts now. Is that correct?
We need to put out some sandwich bets there because I'm getting hungry.
We'll be back next week then, folks, with some more sort of off-season
shenanigans. Season predictions.
Really? Let's get crystal balls out, folks, because, you know, like that's what humans can do. Anyway, enough of this now. Episode 65 of Pat's Procrastination has been brought to you by the Pat's Propaganda YouTube channel. Please do not forget to be subscribing to said YouTube channel so that you do not miss an episode of this crazy show. Apologies again for the terrible graphics. We'll bring you back. We will be better next week. We promise we'll be better. I will be better. I will have more tea in me, more caffeine, that kind of thing. So tune in next time, folks. Don't forget to keep your eyes on patspropaganda.com for all of the Pat's content brought to you by Pat's Propaganda. Tune in next time, folks. As always, go Pats.
LFG.